Okay guys, so as you can see, we've got our fruits here and all the different frames of when they're jumping out the basket. So we have basically finished, and I've put these into RPG Maker as well now, so we're going to do a test play in a bit and we're going to look at how they all bounce out that basket. The only ones we haven't done is apple, so these two here and this one at the top here. And the reason why is because I'm thinking of apple maybe being positioned a little bit differently from there. And also I was actually thinking of changing his facial expression, which I'll talk about in a bit as well. So for now we're going to actually just do the test play and see how things are. So we got tomato jumping out, we've got lemon jumping out, we've got blueberry jumping out, and we've got plum jumping out. Blueberry looks absolutely adorable when he's jumping out, by the way, I have to say. So here's RPG Maker. Okay, so here's our scene that we've been working on this week. And we're slowly building it a step at a time, and we've got a big list to do here. Let me get a window capture up of our list to do. Window capture. Oh no, black screen. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna start doing this more, especially during scene. We won't always have it on our stream though, because it'll get in the way. But especially during scene building, I find that it's very so much easier to make a note of things, because there's usually so many different things that need changing, loads of little bits and bobs. So to keep track of it all, I'm going to note it down, and I'll be able to remember that way. Because when I do test plays, I'm always like, okay, there's that to change, and there's that bit to change, and that, and then once I've turned it off, I forgot what all the bits are that have to change. So this way I can remember a bit easier. I absolutely love Lemon's face. Lemon's adorable as well. I take it Lemon's your favourite then, Yasmin, out of all the fruits. Who is everybody's favourite fruit? Feel free to tell us in chat. I'm very curious about this. You know, one day I'll probably do an actual poll so you guys can vote on your favourite fruit, but it probably wouldn't be how we normally do polls. It'd just be a fun poll just to see who was the most popular. But I don't know, I suppose Twitter's one way of doing it, but not everyone has a Twitter. And I think Twitter polls are very limited actually. I think you can't put in too many things. I did one before and I wasn't that pleased. But I still want to know who everyone's favourite character is. Lemon is my fave, yay. Tomato is Troll's fave. So is there a reason why these ones are your fave? I'm very glad you've said those, because I think those two deserve love. Blueberry is what used to be mine, but now I think apple's mine, because blueberry's a bit evil now. So right, I'm gonna hide our to-do list. We'll hide it and show it whenever it's relevant. But I did a little bit of work on this last night, and made a list of everything that could do with sorting out. So we'll do a bit of that today, as well as continue building the scene. So the first thing on the list is to improve Carol's jump animation at the start of the scene. It's not really the jump animation actually, it's her walk. She basically walks but hops, and I've always felt it isn't like enough of a hop. It's like it's like 1 pixel of a hop. So the reason why it's such a small hop is because Carol's barrel is so thick, it takes up the whole tile set space, and there's not any room to make her do a big hop. So I've got an idea how we can do that, but we'll probably test it today. And there's a load of other things to do as well. This is what I mean, guys, about me, how much I have to do. So seed making is never an easy task if you want to do something that actually looks half decent. If you want to do something that's not really, just something quick and basic, it probably wouldn't take too long, but I always want to make sure mine's good. So thinking of it, I think pear is my fave. Can also eat all except for the stalk. There's no pear in our fruit basket. Do you mean apple? Maybe you mean apple, the green one. Okay, so let's do a test play then. Okay, folks, so there's a couple of little extra things since we last did a test play. I've just tidied up a few things that I felt needed tidying up, such as when they walk onto the scene. And of course, they're all jumping out the basket now, apart from Apple. And one of the things on the to-do list was, here it is, was to make the animation smooth when the fruits jump out the basket. That's one on my list, but I put a question mark there because I'm not sure if we can get any better than what we've got. Like I said, RPG Maker isn't perfect when it comes to animation, so you kind of have to make the best of what you're given. But it doesn't hurt to try to always make it a little bit better if it's possible. So I think the way it looks currently is passable, but I'm always one to think, can we get it to be even smoother, just a touch smoother? So I probably might mess around with the timing at some point and see. Oh, I meant overall. Oh, right, okay. So you don't mean our fruits, you just mean fruits in general then, fair enough. That was me thinking you loved our tomato. Poor tomato. Okay, so yeah, one of the things I've said is have more hesitation than Rose as well at that before she paints. And of course we've got to do the animation as well. Look at Lemon. Look at his angry scarred Pikachu face. Okay, so we haven't done Lemon and Blueberry's dialogue, so we need to add those too, and Plums. So they're all basically out the basket apart from Apple at this point. So I think that test play will do for now. Okay, so what should we do first? Because we've got a big list here and we can do them in order, but we don't necessarily have to. We can just do whatever we want. Okay, so add Lemon, Blueberry and Plum dialogue when they jump out of the basket. That's an easy one. Show here and Rose reacting to the fruits. That is an easy one too. Okay. The hardest one here is probably the animation of Rose painting. That's probably going to be the most time consuming one. Okay, so considering Carol's animation hop is first, we'll just actually see if we can get a slightly more of a hop on her animation. So we have Carol the Barrel Walk character sprite here. And if you look closely, let's zoom in super close, there is basically, well, it's actually a 2 pixel difference. The middle one touches the edge at the bottom of the tile set area, and this one's up by 2 pixels, which kind of gives the impression that there's a bit of a hop going on, and it's definitely more obvious from the side than it is when she's walking up and down. So the only thing we can do other than make the barrel smaller, which I'm not going to do because she's perfect as she is just make the bit where these side ones, maybe make them a pixel shorter, just to give the illusion that she's hopping. It's the only thing I can really think of. I don't know if this is going to be tidy doing it with this tool, but we'll see. I'm not going to be fussy about how it looks right now. I just want to see if the hop is more obvious if we do this. Oh, we shouldn't do it on this one though, because this one's the barrel without the face. We'll do it. This is actually the one we're using, so we'll do this one. Because yeah, I don't think the 2 pixel difference really is obvious enough. So I'm going to bring it in another 2 pixels. So the barrel is 2 pixels short now on these particular bits, and that doesn't mean it's going to forever be short, because these particular frames only show up for, you know, a millisecond basically, for a fraction of a second, and then it goes back to that one there in the middle. So we're just like doing it, squishing up the barrel a bit to give the illusion that the hop's larger and not like super tiny. So that's the one way that's come to my mind of how we can handle it. I'm sure there's other ways, but this is the obvious way to me. And if it looks good, then we can do it to the others as well. But like I said, it's not as bad from the side. It's the up and down one. It looks like she's almost sliding when she walks, which we don't want at all. And I think the reason why she looks like she's sliding rather than hopping is because it works like the way. Obviously it's because it's only 2 pixels and she happens to be walking up as well. It makes it really like not noticeable at all. So let's save this and see how she looks. And I think, oh yeah, we got to resave over the old PNG as well. Past Blues, thank you for that follow. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? So what fruits do we have in the basket, Charles asked. Well, here we go. You can see here who we've got. These are all the many different frames of our basket animation when each of the fruits jump out. So you can have a better view of them here actually. Let's get them out because they're a little bit squished there, so you can't actually see them that well. But here is how they look, their actual sprite sheets. But we also have, there is another graphic of them as well, their battle graphics, and they look a little bit more, you can see their face a little bit more on them. And actually I'm going to get that up. So this isn't the one, but we have another window here to open that actually is just a complete brainstorming notes like thing on our characters, and we got the barrels here they are. So this is actually how they look in battle, this sort of position here with lemon and tomato at the front. And yeah, one thing I said about a few minutes ago was that I was thinking about changing the expression on Apple's face, because it's, as you can see, it's a smiley face here, and I'm gonna just move that. And the reason for that is because Apple's character archetype, who he is as a person, since we've fleshed him out more and we've given him dialogue, actually would make more sense if he was sad rather than happy, in my personal opinion, because he's very, very conflicted and he's torn between his evil friends and his own conscience. And when he fights us in battle, I honestly do not imagine him smiling like a psychopath, because he actually doesn't want to fight us, in all honesty. And we're missing that sad fruit. They've all got their own little stereotypical sort of archetype personality that we're following. Like, he's the stoic old guy, he's the angry emo boy, he's the adorable cutie pie but psychopathic child. This is the curious, intelligent wizard who has like a very calm nature, but he's still evil. He's an evil genius. And I guess we're kind of the sad smiley face is actually the default for this character design. That's what it looked like when we made the assets, and we we could turn that smile upside down. I kind of want to see how that would look. Simply because it makes sense with what we've written here. I mean, his first ever dialogue line is, "Come on, this isn't such a good idea." Don't know if that is going to be it. That's kind of just a first draft line right now. And I'm totally like up for changing the odd few dialogue boxes if we find a better way of articulating what the characters want to say. But for now, this is all the first draft framework. And so if he's like saying that, having that smiley face doesn't quite match with who he is. Apple is torn between loyalty to his fruit friends and his own conscience. The other fruits are evil and he is not as much. Yeah. And we do not have that sad fruit. So, it's not like we've already got a fruit that is that sad fruit, so he could totally be that. I was thinking about the fruits and how they actually parallel the barrels, the container characters actually. Who are these guys up here? Not all of them, but some of them. Mainly, Oliver and Hank, they're a parallel with the lemon and the blueberry. In a lot of ways, because father figure, child, he protects him in battle, like he actually goes in front of him to protect him. He also does in this scene as well, at the end. And that is what Hank does with Oliver in our scene that was just a little bit before this that we worked on last month, was it? Or the month before. During the car hijacking, Hank jumps in front of Oliver to save him because he's a little precious clay boy. He'd break if he fell over, you see. And Hank holds him, protects him, and gets injured in the process. And Oliver's okay because Hank's just a super lovely granddad who wants to look after his grandson. And I kind of realised how these guys had that same thing going on with them. So, I like it. No, the question of the week is a general question. Is the question of the week and aimed towards their personality as well? The question of the week is literally just for you guys to... It's a way for us to bond and break the ice, I guess. The best way to put it. Because some people might be shy, and it's a good opener, isn't it, I think, to answer that question of the week. But it's not just for new people to the stream either, it's for the community, so we can find out about each other, what we like, and so I can get inspiration as well and find out about games that I didn't know, and scenes that I didn't know. But just so this week it's just to do with scenes, because what we're working on this week is cutscenes, so it feels relevant to ask a cutscene related question. But it changes every week based on what we're kind of doing. But it's all to do with any game out there, any RPGs out there. Morning, how you doing, Van? It's good to see you. Or just a favourite fruit from those that we like to eat. So in general, I say pear. From our basket fruits, I would say blueberry. Oh, you like blueberry? Yes. But yeah, you can answer the questions however you like. Like if I say, oh, what's your favourite fruit, guys, I don't mind if you tell me your favourite fruit in general either, because it's actually, you know, it's a good question. You know, it might not be related to the game, but it's still a question. So answer anything you want. How are you doing, Van? Are you working and lurking? I hope work is treating you good. Okay, so we'll go back to Apple and what his facial expression should be in a bit. We'll revisit that when we show his animation coming out of the fruit basket, because he's got a happy face here, you see, so you know we'll have to change that when we work on his jumping animation. Okay, so oh yes, we did Carol's, we changed her hop thing, so we're gonna have to test her now and see how she's looking. So test play time. My favourite cutscene would be in Final Fantasy XIV with Horse of Font. I know exactly who you mean, because I've played that game. Heaven's Sword is amazing. I've never been able to pronounce that character's name properly, I'm ashamed to admit, because I know that character is a legend to all Final Fantasy XIV fans. But that's a really good one. Super, super emotional. And a very sad cutscene, for sure. Thank you for answering, Van. I am so tired still after just waking up. I mixed up the favourite fruit question and the question of the week question. Well, no worries at all. We don't have any rigid rules where we're like, you must answer the question of the week, otherwise you're banned. So no worries, trolls. But as for working and lurking, working for now, my job is shutting down next week due to COVID frustrating. Oh no! Well, I hope everything's okay. And we've got the shelter channel, Van, as well. So if there's anything you need to vent about, then we're here for you. So you're not alone. The community are here for you. I have to be honest here, I rarely ever watch cutscenes. Yeah, are you one of those people that skip, Yasmin? Because totally fine if you do. Some people aren't into that sort of thing. Some people play games for games, you know. Well, gameplay, not for story, or for what, they don't play a game to watch a movie. They just want to play a game, and that is a valid, you know, reason to play games. I'm always curious, because you know you learn what people like, what they don't like, and I mean, Raindrop Chronicles, well, isn't going to please everybody, I'm sure, but I'm going to go with my heart on what I think is something I particularly like and am inspired by, and make it into the best thing I can. And hopefully people don't skip cutscenes. That's kind of something I'm trying to like really do my best when it comes to making the cutscenes actually entertaining. I don't like fluff dialogue or excessive dialogue boxes that add absolutely nothing to the scene or the story. I always think if we're going to have a dialogue box, it has to either drive the story and plot forward or give us a little bit of more knowledge and characterization on a character or lore. If it does that, then you know it probably has a place, but if it doesn't add anything, then might as well cut it. Yeah, I skip and I'm annoyed when I can't skip. I even go as far as looking for mods that enable cutscene skipping if it isn't in the base game. Yeah, and that's, I mean, that is something as well that, for sure, I've thought about that, having such an option of it, sort of a cutscene skipper in Raindrop Chronicles. I don't know if I can 100% confirm there will be a cutscene skipper just yet. Depends if it's going to give me a headache to put in or not, but we'll say. You know, the audience for Raindrop Chronicles is people who like stories, so sometimes I feel like adding a cutscene skipper might be going against my vision and who I'm trying to target here. So that's one reason I'm slightly skeptical about adding it, but I'm definitely not like 100% no about adding it. You know, I'm up for hearing opinions on such a thing, because I'm one of the people, I personally am the opposite. Like, if I see a skip cutscene and I accidentally click yes by accident, I'll go mad. I'll be like, no, and then I've accidentally skipped the cutscene. So that's one thing that would make me salty. But it depends. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's games out there that there's cutscenes and I'm like, oh, can we just skip this? Like, this is a drag. And that's because not every game has amazing stories or writing. But if it has got great story and writing, then you know it's an experience worthy of experiencing, in my opinion. I have skipped cutscenes in game, but never on first playthrough. Yes, and it's another reason, which is kind of important to say as well. One reason I don't know if such a feature will work in Raindrop Chronicles is because Raindrop Chronicles is very affected by the choices you make as a player. It affects the gameplay, the outcomes and what's unlocked and what's available, and basically a lot from the choices you make during the scenes. You know, so if I had a cutscene skipper, it would have also skipped the choices, and you wouldn't have made choices that are kind of essential to the game. So it would probably break and not work if there was a cutscene skipper in Raindrop Chronicles. But could you actually class them as cutscenes when it's not an actual movie scene? You know, it's not like it's this fancy movie scene you're seeing that you can't interact with our cutscenes. Our scenes are just scenes within the game, if that makes sense, and you're still doing stuff in those cutscenes. You're having to click and make choices. I kind of see it as a cutscene when you can put the controller down and sit back and watch for a while, like a movie. But this works differently, simply because every so often the hero's going to be prompted, you as the player, the hero, will be prompted to click an option for what you're going to do. And that'll affect your morality, it will affect your relationship levels with the characters that you're interacting with, it will affect what quests will be available to you in the future and which ones won't be, and it will also affect how NPCs will talk to you and treat you as well, and maybe a lot of other things, like how this story will evolve completely sometimes, because there'll be branching paths of multiple endings. So for that reason, and it only just came to my mind like halfway through this conversation, for that reason I don't think it's going to be possible to have a scene skipper in Raindrop Chronicles, because the game would just break. We wouldn't know, there'd be question marks about where we'd take your hero, because you would have skipped the scene and we wouldn't know what choices you'd have picked. But yeah, like I say, it's not an actual movie, you know. I think as long as you're interacting, and I think if the player knows they're going to be prompted to do something in that scene, then they're gonna probably not want to skip It's only skippable if they think, oh, we're going to be sitting here for like an hour. We're going to be sitting here for so long. Good morning. Hi, how are you doing, Wes? It's good to see you. I mean, to me, there is a clear difference between a dialogue scene and a cutscene, yeah. And I think that's the thing here for sure. With what you're saying, Yasmin, correct me if I'm wrong, that when you say you want to skip cutscenes, you mean those scenes where you actually sit back as if you're watching a movie and you can put your controller down and there's nothing that you have to do. Like, you don't have to click a box or make any interactions or choices, because yeah, Raindrop Chronicles is not going to have movie scenes in it, that's for sure. We're not high budget here or anything like that, so we won't be having those type of cutscenes. Our cutscenes, in all honesty, are just the times when, you know, a scene takes place and there's a bit of character just talk, and you know, like exactly how an old school game does scenes, basically, before the days that movie like cutscenes came into gaming. Yeah, those scenes exactly, yeah. So I'm glad that we cleared that up, because at first I thought you meant dialogue scenes when you said that, so it's a good thing to know. But yes, we can't really have a cutscene skipper for that reason, because I was like, oh god, yeah, we make loads of choices in Raindrop Chronicles. We gotta know what the player's gonna pick for that. And thank you, Coding in Quarantine, for the follow. Welcome. Hope you're doing good. Welcome to the stream and thanks for stopping by. Okay, so we'll do another test play. I always press the wrong save file all the time because it's habit. The bottom one, I'm just so used to pressing that one from playing previous things. Okay, Carol looks deformed. When she's hopping, she looks seriously deformed. So that didn't work, what we did with that animation. But, you know, you got to see these things to say. Okay. So obviously we got to make Rose and the hero react to all this. That they're like not even facing them. They're cardboard cutouts completely at this point. So we'll have to. I'd like to sort that out for sure. Oops, what have I gone back? Okay. Righty-ho, guys. So, improve Carol's walk hop animation at the start of the scene. Yeah, we're going to have to put it back to how it was because the edit didn't work out at all. It's going to probably require a bit of experimentation, I'd say, to get it just right. And I'll put that aside for now. It's something I can revisit. As long as it's on my list, I won't forget. Okay, so we'll do some of the easier stuff first on the list. Okay, so what have we got? Okay, I think we should add the dialogue first because that's the easiest bit. So Lemon has to have his dialogue now. Right, so I haven't done their avatars yet. That's something else on the list to do as well. So right now they don't have a face on their dialogue box, just the dialogue in there. through. Okay. So lemon is event 14, I believe. So just change the message event number to lemon's event. So the box pops up his head. And then we'll just copy and paste his dialogue from Draw.io. Okay, so he's probably gonna have 2 dialogue boxes, Lemon is, because sometimes dialogue needs to be broken up a bit. Rather than have it all in one dialogue box. If there's a bit of dialogue, I like to separate into 2. Especially if the second part is, like, you know, different from the first half of what they say. So we've got, not if I turn you into an easel first, you're trespassing, this is our property, keep moving. Okay, so Lemon's dialogue box is in now. Blueberry, and Blueberry is event 15. Hello, hi Lux, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Hope you're having a good Friday chat. All you lurkers and peeps hanging out. Blueberries could potentially, he doesn't say much, Blueberry doesn't, but his could potentially get split into 3 lines. But we'll see how it looks. Sometimes you think you are going to do these things, but when you actually play test, you think, actually, no. I think you should maybe jump a bit before he says that, though. I kind of added the jumps because I knew I wanted Blueberry to be all cute and jump a lot. But it's probably better to put the jumps in between the dialogue. What is this language? It is the internal scripting language from RPG Maker. Thank you for answering the question, Yasmin. I appreciate it. Yes, RPG Maker's language is JavaScript, but it is not actually, you know, what we're seeing here is the actual event editor, which honestly makes people's jobs a lot easier if they want to make a game, but they're not exactly an expert coder. Now, Plum's dialogue. So here's the actual dialogue. So we've added lemon and blueberries, and now we're on plums. Actually, I should probably we go. So event 16 for plum. Okay, so all their dialogue has been added. I think we should test it now and see how it's all looking. See, Carol's hop is so small. We'll fix you, Carol. Carol the barrel. See, she does these big jumps here, and I could easily do it so her hops are her jumps, but I tested that yesterday. I thought maybe she could jump walk, like take a jump with every step, and it was just too over the top. She was like whoop 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 or when every time she took a step. So I kind of want to get that middle, you know, I don't want it to be super small hop, I don't want it to be a super big jump either, so we'll see. Jeeves, thank you for the follow. Welcome to stream, Jeeves. How are you doing, guys? I remember back when I first played a game that was made with RPG Maker, Vampire's Dawn. Really good game, and got myself into trying to make a game myself with RPG Maker 2000. Oh, so long ago. Yeah, Yasmin, I know those feels. I mean, I don't know Vampire's Dawn, but I've been in exactly the same position where I discovered RPG Maker back in the day when I was younger. And there was a game I played that was made in RPG Maker 2000, and I loved it with all my heart. Nobody knows it. It's so sad when games have gone under the radar. But yeah, I was the same. I played an RPG Maker game, and I was like, oh wow, this was made in RPG Maker 2000, and then I was like really obsessed with RPG Maker, and I was like, I'm going to make a game. I was 12. I was like 12 years old and making this crappy little game. It was a lot of fun. I wish I still had those games because I would have showed you guys, but it would have been a bit embarrassing to show, I'm sure. I just like people who enjoy creating games. Yay! Oh, that's awesome, Lux. Are you a fan of RPG games? What sort of games do you like in particular, Lux? I've noticed a visual glitch in the corner. There's a missing corner on that grass tile. Always notice these things many weeks later after I've done it. Okay. But I'm not going to get sidetracked and do visual stuff and think, there's a visual glitch, let's do that today instead. I always like to stay on topic with what we're doing, and when we have like a stream where we're like, let's tidy up the tile sets and parallax maps, then I'll probably work on stuff like that then. Because it's so easy to get sidetracked. You get a big list to do like that of all these different things. It's interesting to me how even games like this with a lot of custom art still have that RPG Maker look. Yeah, I mean, like you say, like this, but this game, in all honesty, does use a lot of existing resource assets. Not all of them are defaults, though. Some of them are just made from community members. And, you know, that is like, I'd say that Raindrop Chronicles appeal isn't its art, in all honesty. People probably aren't going to look at the game and go, wow, this art is something else, because it is pretty much what's already out there. And that isn't really what my focus was, like to make a game that had beautiful, out of this world art. I want to make a game that like really kind of reinvents like your morality as the player, and how choices and consequences are affected from what you do, and make a really memorable adventure with a cast of charming characters, and just memorable in those ways when it comes to the writing, rather than the art style. And you can't like do a bazillion things. You could be like, we're going to make the best game with the best writing, we're going to make a game with the best art, we're going to make a game with the best battle system, we're going to make it. It's just, you're putting too much on yourself if you kind of think that. So sometimes it's best to think, what is the one thing my game is going to be good at, and just pick one thing. So excuse for bad English, no worries, Lux, at all. That's totally fine. And I love dungeon crawlers. You're doing all right anyway, Lux. We understand. Dungeon crawlers are fun, for sure. To be fair, nearly all the tarmac games look the same. Yeah, someone came in once, this was a while back actually, and they said it looked like Stardew Valley, and Stardew Valley wasn't even made in RPG Maker. So you're probably right, Yasmin, it's probably that tile, that perspective as well, that makes games look similar. Because yes, the Stardew Valley is the exact same kind of, you know, the pixel art, that tile in the same perspective. My favourite game is Legend of Grimrock. I fell in love with this game to try and make one under Unreal. Awesome. Legend of Grimrock, that's the game. It's a first person game, isn't it? And you kind of move through the dungeon from a first person perspective. I've heard good things about that one. I've heard really good things about it actually. Always been curious about well, I've got it on my wish list, I think, but I think I had a friend who said that they were gonna play it, and I was like, oh right, I'd watch you play that, because it's a cool it seems like a really cool game and fun. My first reaction to an RPG Maker game, hey, this looks like Pokemon. Yeah, see, Pokemon as well, another. And yeah, I think games that have that retro pixel art and this kind of perspective, it's very difficult even when you create original art to make them look different, you know, so for sure. But this sort of like art style, I think it has a lot of appeal and nostalgia, like it does for me anyway, because I grew up playing a lot of games like this, and I think they're you know, they're a nice little break and from, you know, the modern 3D beautiful look of a lot of AAA games out there now. I think it's nice to have them still. Absolutely agreed. Nostalgia is a strong emotion, for sure. It's nice to play a game that reminds you of those days. It gives you a good feeling. Okay, so the animation when the jump out basket it's not like a bazillion% perfect right now, but it's not like terrible either. I'm gonna probably mess around with that off stream because it's one of those things that I'll keep having to change and test play, but it'll do for now while we're sorting out the rest of the stream. And the dialogue boxes look a bit like empty at the moment, and I think that's because the avatars aren't in them like they are for Carol and Rose, but that's something we can add after as well. So list of things to do, let's have a look again. Get rid of that one now because we've done it. Yeah, I think I want to do this one now. Show Hero and Rose reacting to the fruits. Don't just have them standing like cardboard cats. Something about the scene seems very flat while they're not reacting. And I think it'll make a lot of difference to see them at least face the fruits. And then we'll work on Apple after that. Okay. Oh my goodness me, a scaly star. What a pleasant surprise, you coming in like that with a Twitch Prime for me. Thank you so much. How are you doing? It's been like years and years. How are you doing? I hope you're well. I hope you're doing good. How's life been, and what are you playing at the moment, Scaly? What's been keeping you busy? And let's have some hype in chat, guys, for that very generous Twitch Prime sub there from Scaly Star. I appreciate that. Thanks for giving me a Twitch Prime this month, Scaly. That's super kind of you. I like making 2D in my free time because I do 3D at my day job. Yes, Wes, and that's a very interesting point as well, because sometimes you can love doing something, but you do it so often that it turns into your job, and then it becomes a chore, and then you don't want to do it when you're at home and for a hobby. So for sure. I kind of got a bit like that when I used to stream video games on here. I used to end up not enjoying playing video games anymore because it felt like it was a job and a chore rather than a fun, relaxing thing to do. But I'm very glad to say I don't feel that way about doing this. I feel like I found my thing now. Yay, thank you for the hype, guys. Yeah, it's been crazy, being quarantined at home with COVID. Oh, you actually had it? That's terrible, Scary. My goodness. I hope you're okay though, aren't you? I hope so. I'm going to admit it now. I mean, we don't really talk about this stuff on stream because I like to keep it a happy place, but I do definitely encourage you guys to talk about it in the shelter on Discord, because I want you guys to know that there's a place for you to talk about these things and not feel alone. But, you know, I'm going to just say just quickly that I don't know anyone that's had it yet. So I'm like, oh no, Scary, I hope you're okay. So I hope everything's fine. And Kay, darling, how are you doing? Kay? It's lovely to see you. Look at that darling mate. Kay, I saw your little stitch thing that you did when I was like just quickly scrolling through Twitter today while I was in a rush, and I saw it and I was like, oh my goodness, that's so pretty. How are you doing, Kay? Yeah, I had a really rough 2 weeks at the beginning of it, but doing so much better now, my goodness. Well, I'm so glad that you're recovering, because honestly, if hearing anyone like a friend or family member having that, it scares me to death. I'm like, oh no. So I'm just glad to hear that you're okay, Scaly, and you're on the mend. Thanks, honey, yay. Okay, so where are we now? So guys, for anyone who's just popping in here, like any lurkers or anyone who hasn't been here in some time, there's a couple of commands here. If you're interested what we're doing here, if you're curious, then those are the things to have a peep at, the YouTube and our website. Okay. Right, so we were going to do the reactions of Rose and the hero. So I'm going to do another test play actually, and then we can figure out the right point for when Rose and the hero can react to the fruits. Because they're literally just standing there like that, this facing away from all the goings on at the moment. And it looks very strange seeing them standing there like cardboard cutouts. Like the new with overlay, Master Emerald. How you doing? How you doing, Master Emerald? And thank you very much. I like the new overlay too. I'm kind of really... It's a lot better than I thought it was going to be, because I always had this plan to make an overlay because I wanted a permanent chat box on the screen. Simply because I always upload the streams to YouTube, and YouTube can't see chat, so we need that chat box. And I was like, oh, but it's gonna look so ugly though, and it's gonna ruin the stream. But I've got it in a way I really like it, so I'm glad. But how are you doing, Mast? How are things going? Okay, so I think this is the moment that Rose and the hero are going to turn, when Tomato jumps out. I think when he speaks, that's the moment Rose is going to turn. But when he jumps out the basket, that'll be the moment that the hero will turn. So they'll turn at different times. So this is like, if you guys, some of you don't know RPG Maker very well, this is literally how easy it is to build a scene. It's all done in this little event editor thing here. You don't have to code or anything, so it's super nice. And it's a lot of fun. So if you've ever thought, I want to make an RPG game, you know, this is the way. Doing good. I'm just tired. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing good, Master Emerald. And I was totally like that, like last week and the week before. I was thinking I'm tired. I was getting super tired, guys, which is mainly why I changed my schedule, and I'm feeling a lot more reinvigorated now, having that Tuesday and Thursday off in between streams. I mean, it's not really off. It's not off at all, because I haven't actually sat down and chilled for what feels like a while. I played like a little bit of Animal Crossing 2 days ago. Well, I kind of did the other day, but it was only for like 10 minutes. But then, yeah, wasn't on it long at all. And I haven't even played Final Fantasy Remake for about a week because I've been, was it, well, it isn't a week, yeah. I think the last time I played it was Friday or Saturday, yeah. So, yeah, I haven't been having days off at all. But it's, like, being on stream is very, like, tiring anyway, and talking constantly. So sometimes it's really nice to have those days where you just sit on your by your desk in your PJs, and I work in the game and just look a mess in my PJs while I work on it. Sometimes those days are definitely very valuable. How you doing, Chub? It's good to see you. I hope you're doing good. How are things, Chub? It's easy, yeah, but a bit cluttered if you ask me. Yeah, I'm sure it could be improved, that's for sure, but I've tried other engines and I don't even know where to begin with a lot of them, I have to admit. Healthy Happy Rose is best Rose. What's your favourite engine now, Yasmin? But you're a bit more of a coder, aren't you, than me? So, yay, best Rose. Got a Fitbit friend request from someone called Rose. Rose? Oh, what's Fitbit? What the hell is Fitbit? Is someone trying to catfish me? I mean, catfish Chub pretending to be me? What? Explain, Chub. I need to understand what's happening here so we can sort it out. You're the only Rose I know. I don't know any other Rose are either. I'm scared. Yeah, totally a coder. I'm working with Godot. Yeah, so for sure, I think you have more freedom with the software you can use, Yasmin, because you have more code knowledge than me. But because I'm a big old code noob, I guess I've only got RPG Maker as my choice. Which version of RPG Maker are you using, if you don't mind sharing? It's RPG Maker MV Scaly. Let me... program. There you go. So there's a link there, Scaly, if you want to read about it. And I don't think RPG Maker's the best one. I remember some of the older ones being better when I was younger, but my memory's blurry because it was so long ago when I used the older ones. But there's some limitations that I've got a bit salty over with RPG Maker, but I just try my best to break it and get past them if I can. But because MV's the current one and the most recent, it's probably good to use that, considering that's what people are making plugins for at the moment and stuff. So I don't regret it being the one that I chose. Well, now I know it's you because now I know it's you. I won't be accepting it. I was wondering how you found me because I used my real name, and it's not me, Chub. What is Fitbit? I'm gonna actually Google that because I've never heard of it in my life. Fitbit official. This is Fitbit apparently. Apparently, guys, somebody is pretending to be me on here. What is this? It's like a watch health tracker. Oh, right. Yeah, I do have a few, like, there's a few people out there that might pretend to be me, Chub, because there was our relationships didn't end that well on stream. They got banned, for example. So maybe they're out for revenge and they think, yeah, let's pretend to be Rose and catfish Chub. But that is very random, I have to say. Very random indeed. I have a Fitbit, had one for years to track my sleeps. Oh, right. Tells me how many hours I got. Chub, you should speak to this Rose R and be like, hi Rose, how's it going? I'm curious what they'd say. Curious. I ignored it now. Yeah. Well, if you'd rather ignore it, that's totally understandable too, because we don't want to mess about with people like that. Okay, so back to business. So this is the point where Tomato talks. So Rose, I think Rose's event. Yeah, this is Rose, event 9. So all we need to do is make event 9 turn down. So event 9 is Rose, basically, so she'll turn down once Tomato has talked, which makes sense because she'd react to his voice. The noise is made. And she'll stop painting at that point too. And the hero as well. He could be here though. So player, turn left. Okay, so we're gonna have to get rid of the way on here though, because he won't turn until that movement route's finished otherwise. And we'll put a weight here instead. We'll put 60 seconds for now, but we might have to change that. We'll see. Tells me how many hours I got. Ignored it now. They said they're fake Kermit self. Thought it was you, Rose. You're lying, Trump. I don't believe you. And I can believe things, but I don't know about that. But how many hours sleep do you guys get? That's a good question, actually. I'm curious. Because I get I try to get at least 8, but some nights I get less than that. Some nights I get 10, which I always like to get 10 if I can. But at least 8 is the goal. Hi, Sano, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. How's it going? I hope you're having a good Friday. That goes for all of you. Okay, so we're going to test how Rose and the hero react to the fruits now. So let's get our test play screen up. And then we'll probably focus on just continuing the next part of the scene and adding the rest of it. I know we've got a list of lots of little bitty things to do, but some of them are probably a little bit time consuming, but we'll see. I really want to try out Rose actually doing the painting, having an animation of that though, before the fruits appear. Because how it is right now, you got Tomato jumping out and threatening Carol. That's not actually going to happen as fast as it is here. We're going to have like at least a little part where Rose paints and builds up the tension, but then the fruit comes and interrupts. But I've kind of left that road painting animation just for now, because it's going to be quite an ambitious thing to pull off in RPG Maker. But I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how it'll pan out. Okay, so they've turned around now. I don't know if they turned around at the right times though. We'll see. I really want to make use of Rose's facial expressions as well, if I can, on her sprite, because I've got this sprite sheet of Rose where she has different faces, and I think that adds a lot to her character. Considering she's a mute that doesn't talk, I want to make even more, make the most of facial expressions even more for Rose. And to be honest, any character, Carol and others as well, the only character that can't have expressions is the hero, and that's because he's a custom hero with, there's like hundreds of assets of how that hero could look. Mine just happens to look like Jesus, but when you play it, you can make him or her like look like whatever you want. So for that reason, it's not possible to give the hero different faces because they'll look different. I've got an itchy nose. Depends on if when I take my sleeping aid meds. Last night I got 7 hours 34 minutes. Not bad, chub, not bad. And 7 or 8 if I'm lucky, if I don't get that much of my day ruined. Yeah, you can definitely get a bit tired if you get a bit less than that 8 hours, for sure. Almost done with the game. Is it the year 2030 yet, so no? If so, then yeah. but no, almost done. But it makes me laugh when I think of that, because we're so not there, and I'm glad we're not there, because this is something I intend to do for a long time. This is only the beginning, guys. This is only the start. The very start, the tippest, smallest, tiniest tip of the iceberg. As you can see, we're on stream 127 today, I believe. That's what we have in our title, yeah? Well, that is a small number. I'm just going to say that. Last night I got 14 hours, but I was also sleeping under my weighted blanket. 14 hours, that sounds like heaven. I'd love a long sleep. Sometimes I do that. I just get in bed early and then just sleep. And it's really nice and cosy. Not many expressions I can have. Not with that mask on now. But your eyes are still showing though. So, but also it depends on what the character's like. If they're more of a stoic personality, then they probably wouldn't be the sort to have a range of facial expressions. It all depends on their character. Someone like Lemon, for example, would just permanently have his angry face because he's pretty stoic. Okay, so I am actually going to replay this cutscene again because I didn't actually catch when they turned around. Okay, so Rose should have turned out around sooner. When did the hero turn around? No. I remember when I started adding Rose facial expressions to some of our other cutscenes a little bit before this, it added so much. I was actually like, wow, this is good. Just like from a simple expression change. And of course we had the face avatars in the dialogue boxes that change expression, but I mean the sprites as well change expression. It just adds so much. Once again, I missed when Rose turned, but to be honest, we can just look in the event editor and see. Yeah, it's because we had Rose turn after the dialogue box came up. It should be before, in all honesty, but we don't want Rose and the player turning at the same time. So we'll just have a bit of a wait in between them both. And what else have we got to do? Apple. So we're going to look at Apple. We're going to have a little short chat about Apple in a minute once I've done this test play, because he's the next thing, he's the next person to speak. Fruit's now a person. They are people, guys. Sentient fruits deserve love too. So I'm thinking with this bit when Carol demands Rose paint a picture of Ollie, who took Ollie, I mean, Rose doesn't just like look like that and say ... and walk to it. She'll kind of hesitate at first, but then Carol will push her. She'll be like, go on then, like, and then she'll do it. Just want a little bit more hesitation there. We're gonna have to go back. But yes, there's the question of what Rose is actually going to paint. Maybe it's going to be chub cheeks. It's going to be chub cheeks that Rose is going to paint. Or one of Chub Cheeks' minions. What will Chub prefer? Him being on the painting or one of his minions being on the painting? Paint me like one of your French girls. Yeah, because honestly, it could go either way. The plot could work with either. So I kind of want to leave this one up to Chub, actually, because it's his character. And although myself and the community have control over what happens to the characters and the story, sometimes if somebody's actually active in chat and he's here when we're taking their character in a certain direction, I might actually ask them what they're thinking, but not all the time, you know, it all depends. Because sometimes it might be more appropriate to put a poll up and have a vote a community vote for certain things. But for this particular question, I think people might not actually get what we're trying to ask, because it's such a like Chub character related question. But if we already had a story so far on it, you know, maybe in the whole Chub lore section, then yeah, it could be a community poll. But I always like to make sure that the polls I put up are, you know, simple, quick things. Honestly, I'm looking at Rose, but then I miss when the hero turns, so I'm having to do all these different multiple test plays. Would I be stealing Ollie to cover up the failure of the spellcaster? Well, not just Oliver, all the containers in general, because they were all made into, you know, a spell was cast on all of them, and you want them back because you've realised you've brought them, they're sentient now, and you want to use them for your plot. You thought they didn't work and the spell failed, but some knowledge that you gain from, who knows how you find out, maybe from people who spy for you or whatever, you've found out that these containers you cast the spell on, well, not you directly, I mean the spellcaster, your assistant would have done it, but you find out that they're alive and walking about. So what you've heard, that's what you've heard from people's whispers. And you're like, shit. Oops, I did it. And you're like, oh God, they're and you know that you need to capture them now, because you've cottoned on to the fact that the spell kind of did work, but not how you wanted it to, but not how you expected, but it did. So you need to kidnap them now and use them for your master plan. And I think Caroline really cares. She's more, Ollie got kidnapped, Ollie, because Ollie is the one she loves. Not that she doesn't love Marilyn, Elvira and Hank and the others. She's still their family, so she cares for them. But Carol is just more protective of Oliver, for sure. But cover up the failure of the spellcaster. I guess so, for many reasons. You want them, the reason why you had the spell cast on them in the first place was so you could turn them into containers for the raindrops, and you still want to continue with that plan. That plan hasn't stopped. That is your goal, so you just want to carry on with it. You want them back so you can do your plan. Because if so, I would be there, but maybe wearing a big hooded cloak over my armour to hide my identity. That might be a little much, though. Yeah, and I guess the thing with you, you're covered up, and we did say that your wings had come out your armour, so that would reveal your race. And I think that's the point, the revelation of this painting, when Rose does it, we're going to realise that the reptile is behind it, because she's going to paint a reptile. So whether that's you with your wings, or you'd still be armoured up but your wings would be in the painting, or whether it's one of your minions and they're showing their face, ultimately we have to reveal an actual reptile, because Carol's going to be like, one of those stinking reptiles kidnapped my boy. When as soon as she sees what Rose is painting, she's like, it's a reptile. And that's gonna take the main story into the reptile. Reptiles are going to come out then, and that gives us the opportunity to introduce both you and Rex as antagonists, because the group are going to find the reptiles. They're going to be they'll be asking the resident of Lake Falls, so where can I find the reptiles? Because we need to find out who took Carol's son and her family. So the plot will be led into that direction once we know. Once Carol sees that there's a reptile on the canvas, she'll be like, so that's who took my boy then. And so yeah, it'll either be a generic minion reptile, just a right face of a reptile, or it'll be Chub Cheeks showing off his wings. But maybe it would be more effective if it was one of your minions, just because it's clearly a reptile and there's no mistake. And it also stops Chub from being introduced heavily too early on as well. Your character Chub could come later, we'd find that reptile who it was, and then we'd ask him questions, and it will eventually lead to finding Chub the big bad. You know what I mean? Maybe introducing Chub too early, I guess it depends. Either way could work, but it could work if it's just a minion on the painting for now that actually did the hijacking, but finding him will eventually lead to discovering Chub. Did Rose only see the reptile from behind? She would have spent time with the reptile, because she jumps on the cart and attacks the hijacker. And then that's the last Carol sees of them all. She sees the cart driving off, and she saw Rose jump on it and attack the hijacker, but Carol doesn't see the hijacker herself, because the perspective the cart's driving off, it's hiding the hijacker. The wagon's in the way, but Rose would have seen him, because she actually jumped on the cart and jumped down to bite him. And what happened after that is, who knows? It just drove off. We don't know what happened to that cart, where those barrels are Anna, Woody and Oliver. We don't know where they are. And we don't really know what happened to Rose either, because she can't really tell us. All we know is that she was there and she had an encounter with the hijacker. Lots of stuff could have happened between then and now, for all we know. Yeah, I could have a bunch of minions who all fail their tasks and eventually I gotta do things myself. Yeah, and I think it definitely works very tidily and the plot if we have it be one of your minions that Rose paints, because it's definitely someone who doesn't know what they're doing to have got bitten by Rose in the first place, if you know what I mean. And the fact that they got bitten by Rose means they probably weren't armoured up that well either, because Rose probably couldn't get a big chunk out of you considering you're armoured up. It's not impossible, because if your wings are on show, she could have just bit one of your wings and that could have bled. But Chub would probably be smarter than that, you know, to let himself just get attacked by a feral vampire. But one of your minions probably wouldn't be smart enough to avoid Rose's attack. So, you know, I could imagine that Chub does get involved in the action, perhaps, when, like you say, everybody fails their tasks and he has to get more involved, or finding the minions and going on a quest to meet the reptiles and find out where the family are, could eventually lead to uncovering Chub and facing him after a bit of detective work. So that's kind of the goal. Yeah, I am a smart boy. Yep. So yeah, I think we'll go that way then, Chub. We'll have Rose paint an actual reptile, because there's no mistake then. Once that reptile face is on that canvas, Carol is like she's gonna make it her mission to get in that reptile hideout and get him. She's very protective of her boy, so she'll just be like, yeah, I'm going after him, and it's all gonna nicely all fit, because stuff that's happening in Lakefall and the lore of Lakefall is very, very, very focused on the reptiles as well, because of the massacre that happened, which was something we discussed in the very early streams, but we will be revisiting once we go back to Lakefall. So there could be a bunch of potential side quests that kind of fit with this whole reptile part of the story as well. But I was always waiting for an opportunity to bring the reptiles into the main quest, not just the side stories or side quests. So I feel like this idea does that quite well, because it gives Carol a reason for caring about the reptiles and being on a mission to find them. She's got a purpose. It's not directionless. Like, she's not like, oh, we better just find these reptiles then because they killed a bunch of people in Lakefall. Like, Carol doesn't care about humans or other people, but because it involves her, because it's for selfish reasons, she's gonna want those reptiles. She's gonna want to find them. And really, that's what this is about. We've got a custom hero here, but it's Carol's story, all in all right now. What happens to the hero as he goes on his adventures, it could go much deeper than just being Carol's companion, but right now, as it stands, he's kind of just following Carol and what she wants and going by her demands. And I suppose, like, we love Carol too, so we want to help Carol. And we're curious. We want to know what's happened to the containers. We want to find them. And the reptiles, the only ones that can tell us, because that's who we know took them, according to Rose. Imagine if Rose lied all along, though, and she trolled us by drawing that reptile face. And really, it was someone else altogether. Unlikely, but who knows? It makes you wonder. Rose is too nice to lie. She's a sweetheart. She's honest, and she wants to help. Today's forecast, a strong westerly rose with slight raindrops. Who knows? Did I say it again? Before I even knew Lake Mog was here, I said who knows. Just shows that is my phrase, doesn't it? But how you doing, Legbarg? It's good to see you. Today's forecast indeed. That's really clever. I like that. That is slight raindrops. But guys, we've just been rambling on about the lore the last 10 minutes or so, like Chubb's character and the next part of the main quest. So in case some of you are a bit confused, I am going to give you the lore video. Because watching that, it's only 2 or 3 minutes long, is it? I can't remember now, but if you watch that lore video, it'll give you a bit of insight onto what on earth is actually happening here, and what that video says is really the direction the main plot is going in right now. So the third main quest, which is what it will be after this scene and this boss fight, it will be more strongly heading in the direction of that lore video, because we'll be well on our way to finding the antagonist that video mentions. So do I choose how my character talks? Well, I like to keep it flexible for you guys when it comes to your character, like because not everybody who's made a character comes to the streams often, so of course that means that I and the community, myself and the community, have all control of how that character ends up and what they're going to sound like, what their goals are. I mean, we've got the character sheet, so I'll still follow the character sheet as loyally as I can. Does that make sense? But of course, if like somebody's very involved in the community and they come to a lot of streams and they've got a character in the game, then they totally can have the say of a lot of stuff about their character, and maybe not all of it, because a lot of the time we'll put up polls that'll be like, so what's going to happen with this character next, and what's this character going to, like, in regards to that, the community will have a say when it comes to polls. But for things like how your character talks and their tone of voice and their personality and all that kind of thing, their hobbies, you know, everything that builds a character up, you have like control over that if you wish, and if you know. So yeah. Ice Bloke, what engine are you using? Okay, Ice Bloke, welcome to the stream, by the way. I have a command here for you if you wanna read about the engine. So that's for you guys who are curious. It's RPG Maker MV. Who knows, it just shows that we should go with the flows because we're here for Rose and the Wind Blows. Legmark's a poet. Seriously. You know how to put something together, Legmark. In fact, I want a character in this game that speaks the same way as Legmark. Eventually. I'd have to steal all Legmark's dialogue though, because I never have the eloquence of putting that sort of words together. Hi Clem, how you doing? It's good to see you. Hope you're good. Because if I can put one little part of my personality, my character, their first line to the hero party has to be, hi, it's me, character name. Oh, what was it again? I actually do have your new character name written somewhere, Chubb. Began with a B, didn't it? It's in a notepad file somewhere. And I will be updating your character sheet during the next like website content update. And I'll give it its wings and stuff, because you still want the wings coming out of the armour, don't you? And we'll update the name as well. Yes, that's correct. My message didn't appear on the thing, didn't it? Oh, it didn't, did it? It's got asterisks there for some reason. Maybe that's because that's strange. That's weird, isn't it, that there's asterisks? But I'll copy and paste that anyway, Chubb, so that we know this for when your character gets introduced. I might have enough points to request a character now. Are you still taking submissions? If so, how can I tell how many points I have again? Oh yes, it's Raindrop's leg mog. So just do your Raindrops command and you'll see. But when it comes to filling in your character form, all you need to do is go to the website Legmog, so raindroprpg.com, and it's all on the main page. You just have to scroll down a bit and you'll see a section that says in big letters, can I make my own character for the game? And it's got the instructions. It's got, you need 500 raindrops, and this is these are the character sheets to fill in. Click which one you want. So you just have to go on there. I probably will be taking the character forms off the main page though and putting them on a secret page, so that people who want to be a character once they've got the 500 I'll give them the link then. Or what I also could do is assign a Discord role to the people that have got the 500 raindrops, which I actually have done already, legendary raindrop. And for those people that have the Discord role of having the 500 raindrops, can see a secret channel that has the links to the character forms on the website. Because the reason why is because people are filling them in, and don't even know who they are. They're like, some of them haven't even been to the stream before, never mind haven't got the 500 raindrops. Some of them are people that have been to the stream but don't have the 500 raindrops. But yes, it's kind of something that's not surprising that the forms are being filled in anyway by people, and I'm glad you're excited, guys, to fill them in for sure, because they are pretty time consuming to fill in. But at the same time, you know, we have to add that cap on now. We have to have a cap like of what's allowed to be a character, because otherwise we'd have hundreds in our game and we wouldn't be able to keep up with it. Yay! So yeah, it's 500 raindrops for now, folks, and I've got a little note in small print on the website saying that in the event of a high demand of characters, like a lot of people meeting a 500 raindrops requirement, then I would increase it, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to keep up. But for now, the size of the community that we are, I feel like that 500 is perfectly reasonable. So it's staying this way for now. You know, it would only change if we had a lot of growth or something and more demand for characters. So there's no worries, guys, right now. 500 raindrops it is. Voking, thank you for the follow. Oh my goodness, that is a rude name. I've just realised it sounds like a swear. How dare you make me say that? That's nearly as bad as that ice one. Remember, the famous Twitch name that makes people say a particular rude word. I fell for it. Hope you're having a good laugh. But I totally say that word all the time anyway, don't I, chat? It's nothing weird. I'm torn between the name Poppy Papercut and Tiffany Trollope. LOL. I like them both, like mug. I honestly am excited to see your character sheet if you do decide to fill one in, because I know that it will definitely be a very creative character, that's for sure. I'm going to call you King. That's what I'm going to call you. Or maybe I won't call you anything because I might ban you. But maybe not, because I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. We have someone here called Richard who is actually called Dick, and I was nearly going to ban him at first because I was like, that's a troll. But Dick turned out to be the most lovely person in the world. Like, so, you know, sometimes you have to give people the benefit of the doubt and actually say, you know. So I'm willing to. King Leg Mug. Lol. Okay, so what were we doing? We was doing a test play, but I forgot of what, because we got sidetracked. We ramble a lot here. We start talking about all sorts, which is great because you need these discussions as a community about the game, and sometimes you get sidetracked. Okay, so I think we were looking at the directions that Rose and the hero. Yeah, I think that's fine for now. I'm alright with that, so what we will do, we've got our to-do list here. Yeah, I'll get rid of that for now. Actually, I'm going to keep it there simply because I might want them to react a little bit more. Like I say, Rose facial expressions we could have. So I'm going to keep that there for now. But we're going to move on to Apple now. Okay, so here is our dear Apple. Well, no, this is Carol. But here is our dear Apple. He's hopping, getting ready to hop out the basket, and then there'll be no fruits left. But we're going to change his face, I think. I want to see what he's going to look like if he doesn't have that smiley face. Honestly, the smiley face was perfect before because it fitted him as the generic fruit leader type, but we've developed Apple a little more since then. And he's now become this conflicted, reluctant hero who actually doesn't want to fight, and only does it through loyalty to his friends. So let's get this up again. So when we look at how they look in battle, which is basically going to be this is exactly how they'll look in battle. This formation. Apple looks far too happy to be fighting. So it's thinking of the expressions we could have. We could have him have a straight face. We could have him have a sad face. We could have him have a wonky face. You know, there's a lot of decisions here for Apple. Let's experiment. I think before we do his sprite, I think it'll be cool to do his battle graphic just to see how he does look. So let's get him up. Trying to remember what folder I put him in now. Okay, so I'm gonna have to open them all because I don't know which one's Apple. Okay, that one's Apple. Here he is. Let's get Photoshop so you guys can see. Ignore the big massive hammer and sword, we're not using them. Just the paintbrush and the palette. Hi Oracle, how's it going? It's good to see you. Hey Rose, I just had flashbacks to when you were playing Dark Souls 3 and we were talking about sending Richard pics to each other on Snapchat. You mean fake ones? As if I would say such a thing. Okay, I'm taking the plunge, gonna try and make a character, yay. Yay, I'm excited. I'll add you to the list, Legmog. Our character sheet list once it's done, which will be on our Trello page. There's a few to get done, that's for sure. And since changing my schedule, I'll definitely have the time to get some of them done soon. But there's a list of all this to do as well, but they'll get done eventually. So we do have a few different expressions for Apple here, but we're not using all of them. We're kind of only using this one and this one for when he gets hit. But this happy face, that's Blueberry's face, so we're not having that happy face, and that's kind of Lemon and Tomato's face, the angry one. I do like this one with the normal eyes that aren't angry for Apple, because I don't see Apple as the angry one. I think that is for Lemon and Tomato. But that happy face I just question, because it just doesn't fit him with his dialogue and his character and his mood. So it would come across as genuine or sincere if he had a happy face, and I feel that Apple is actually the emotional gut punch in this cutscene for me. Maybe not for everyone. Some people might not care about Apple much, but Apple's my favourite character now, and I feel he really adds a lot to this bunch of fruits. And I want him to be sincere, so let's try a few things. You done? I think that actually works. Because we don't have a fruit with a face like that right now. He will be flipped though. He won't be flipped. He'll be flipped into the opposite direction. I don't know why he's facing this way, but I think that's the way that the Dragon Bones animations have to be set up. I mean, we could rotate it a touch. But I kind of like how it's a sort of slanted. People kind of do this face when they're unsure. Don't like that. I can't pull it off. Ignore my face, everyone. But you know, when people are uncertain and conflicted, they do this thing face, don't they? So I feel like that's kind of what the face he's got here. He looks cute. Because, you know, I feel like there's a place for that sort of expression. We're lacking it. We've got super happy Blueberry, stoic Lemon, angry Tomato, very indifferent, apathetic Plum. And we got happy Apple, but like we say, just does not fit. So let's turn him into that unsure character he is. It's going to add so much. I love the story so far video. That was Rosie Raindrop at her most voicedness. As always, I tip my hat to that voice. I make a brilliant narrator, that's for sure. Like Mark, maybe that'll be eventually what I end up doing. But yeah, I do it anyway. I'll be doing it a lot in Raindrop Chronicles, because there's going to be loads of those story so far videos, guys. Here we go. If you want to see it, it's there. And I basically narrate what's happened in the story so far, and we're going to have another one. If it doesn't come out in April, it's definitely going to be out in May. It's whenever we get this scene done. Well, not just this scene, but the post-battle, boss battle scene as well. We need to get that one done too. So there's a good chance I think we could get this cutscene finished next week and move on to the boss battle again next week. But that boss battle is probably going to take a little bit of time to get done and perfected and balanced. And then we'll be working on the post-boss battle scene after that. And that will be when we get to see what Rose has painted. And that will be when I make the next story so far video, because Main Quest 2 finishes then. And so that will be done, and I'm excited to the next one because there's so much plot for for this next story so far video, because story so far video 1 is so, like, in my opinion, there's little happening there compared to what we're going to have in the next one. Pics of people called Richard. I thought so, Chubb. I was going to say it had to be some sort of twist on that. Oh, by the way, when you flipped the apple just then, you accidentally selected a bit of the book to the left of it. Yeah, I did actually notice. It's right here, isn't it? Oh, you can't even see because I haven't got it up. There it is. There we go. I pride myself on my eye for detail. Nothing can escape my eyes, that's for sure. Few crosses averted. Okay. Yeah, don't you worry, Legmog. I tend to be very OCD with these sort of things. Probably too much to the extreme, in all honesty. So, yes. Gosh, you're a smart one, Rose. Yeah. But thank you for, being, for caring, because some people might not even say, it's better, it's nice knowing that someone's got your back. Right, so I was kind of doing that very rough as an experiment, but we're going to do it properly now. And anyway, we have to keep him like this and save him like this for this, because this is how the Dragon Bones animation is set up. So, even though he'll be flipped the other way when we actually see him in game. So we're going to have to fill in a bit of green where we rotated it. Doesn't look like it got rotated that much. To be honest, we could keep it like that. I think that's quite cute. I mean, we could, like I said, we could make that go down more so it turns into a sad face, but I kind of like the uncertainty face, actually. I think it fits in well, more than having a sad face. So all we need to do now is just update everything with this uncertain face apple, and then we can kind of carry on our cutscene, because we're at the point now in the cutscene where Apple is going to be introduced, and we couldn't carry on until we decided his new face, because it's very important. Right. Righty-ho. So did it save? No, the PSD saved, but not the PNG. So let's do that now. But that'll only update Apple's face in battle. We also need to, let's cross these ones off. We also need to do his face on the sprite as well. And we should probably update it in Draw.io as well at some point. Might not do it on stream, but eventually I'll update it in Draw.io. Itchy eye. Okay. So this is the point. Oh yes, we gotta do Worried Rose face as well. Have a super itchy eye, guys. Allergies. Right, so what we're going to do then, hopefully this isn't going to be too much of a task. Just need to give this a flip. But if we're going to be accurate and make it look like how Apple looks here, we probably need to get rid of a pixel. Let's just flip him just so we can actually see him from the angle he is going to be for now. Okay, so this one needs to be removed. And let's make sure we get the shading fixed as well, because we messed it up a bit since doing that. He looks so funny. What happens if we add a little bit of pixel to him? No, I think it needs to. But yeah, that's exactly how he needs to look. It's basically a sad face, but with a bit missing. That's what it is. I'd say that's accurate. I think it makes him rather charming, in my opinion. You don't see many characters with that face, do you? I'd love to know if there's another character out there in anything that has that face. Okay, so to just save a bit of time, I'm probably gonna just copy that bit and plop it onto the others. Strangely, like I'm trying to think, does he parallel any of our container characters? And I was going to say Hank when after he's got the hole in him, because Hank's going to turn sad then. But honestly, Hank is Lemon, because Hank is definitely Lemon out the bunch, especially because of his love for Blueberry, just like Hank's love for Oliver. Okay, so we need to do the side view now. All we need to do is I think it's yeah, it goes, the line is 1 pixel higher. So he doesn't, the pixel is going to be on this side here. There we go, and he doesn't have a face at the back, so make sure everything's correct. Yeah, there's 2 pixels between the edge of the eye and the mouth, which is correct. Yeah, that's fine. So is a playable character more points than a major or minor NPC? No, they're all the same. All you need is your 500 raindrops for any, because in my opinion, none of them are better than the other. It all depends what character you have in mind. Playable character definitely isn't more valuable than a major or minor NPC. Like, they've all got their place, and major NPCs, I've kind of put a little description at the top of each of what the difference is. I'd say that it's kind of obvious what the difference is with playable. They're someone that you play as in battle and actually have a class. Like, they could be a knight, there could be a mage, there could be a priest, there could be a gunslinger, or there could be a summoner, like anything that where they're going to be actually in battle in the game. And that doesn't mean NPCs don't have a job or a combat class themselves. They might, but they don't make use of it in the game. For example, Kung's character here, she's a hunter. Kung is, she loves animals and she's a hunter, but she's not a playable character. She's a major NPC. So although she does have a combat class, you don't actually play as her in battle. So the class for Kung is just part of her character's story and the lore, rather than it being of use. And minor NPCs, the difference between them and major is probably that they're more like the villager type. They're usually confined to a town, and they are a merchant, an innkeeper, a barkeeper, a blacksmith, and they actually they're usually the people that give you the quests when the player's in a village. Whereas the major NPCs aren't really confined to a town. They're usually characters that are adventurers and everywhere in the world and pop up now and again in scenes and kind of are a bit of an obstacle for the player characters. They're could be antagonists. Well, the allies won't be obstacles. They'd be our assistants. And they'd be more like characters that would appear more often, no matter where you were in the world. Whereas minor NPCs, you'd probably only see them in the town or village that they came from, and when you move on to another part of the world, you won't see them again unless you went back to that town or village. And it doesn't have to be that rigid. There'll be some scenarios where a minor NPC probably will pop up in another town or a village, but that's kind of just a template, really. Because I ask different questions on both. On the minor NPC form, I ask you what your livelihood is and if you have family living in the village you're in. So it's more about you being a villager, like someone living in a town, if you're a minor NPC. Whereas the major NPCs are definitely not so much about where they're from and their life in the town they're from. They're more about what their actual motivations are and whether they are an ally to the heroes or an enemy to the heroes, and what faction they'd be in and all that sort of thing. They're more character motivated and goal focused, the major NPCs, whereas the minor ones are more NPCs living in a town. And that doesn't because I've said many a time that just because they're minor doesn't mean they're going to be pointless characters. They're going to have life and they're going to have personalities, and my goal is to make even the minor NPCs memorable. So yes, they're going to be important because they're the quest givers, really, in all honesty, the minor NPCs. And so yeah, got you. Okay, I'm taking the plunge, yay. So yeah, I definitely went on a big old ramble there, but I think it's handy to spill it all out so peeps know the difference. But I'm excited, Legmog. Because yes, we have people that were totally wanting to be minor NPCs because that sort of character is what they had in mind. They thought, well, I want to be a merchant, I want to be a blacksmith, and I want to be that character that lives somewhere from a certain kind of town. And other people just really wanted to be a bad guy, and so they went for the major NPC. And some people wanted to they want to be in battle, they want to actually have a class. So it all depends what you want. Pogo TV, thank you so much for that raid. I appreciate that. Welcome to the stream, folks. How was your stream, Pogo? I hope it went well. Thank you so much for bringing your community over. Let's give it a shout out to Pogo and see what they were doing. Science and technology, you're working on a game? What have you been up to? Let us know what your stream was like. Tell us what you did. Appreciate you bringing everybody over. Welcome everyone. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. We're making a community RPG here, so I build the whole thing, and a lot of the time I get chat involved, and I'm like, okay, so what are we going to do with this character? What are we going to where are we going to take the story here? So there's always a lot of polls and voting going on for where we take our game and things like that, and it's a lot of fun. Could not raid after seeing those cute slimes. Yeah, they're slimes that have been turned into fruits, and look at that face. We've given him a really funny face, and I love it. So he was smiley originally. He looked like that, but we've now turned him into this, and that's because we've developed his character. Yeah, that's right. Even this cute guy has a personality in our game, and this face is just definitely more suited to his personality than the happy face, and I love him even more now, personally. We were preparing for game jam. That sounds fun. Feel free to tell us about your game and what it's all about. I'm intrigued. His current face says sour apple for sure. Yeah, and we got a sour lemon as well, actually. So it's quite funny. We've got a range of them. Here they all are. Let's get them up. I want to show them all off to you guys now. Here they are. So Apple is super happy here. These are their battle sprites. Yes, they're painters. they're painting fruits. And it's one of their birthdays. He's got a birthday hat on. So yes, he's not going to smile anymore. He's going to have that uncertain face, because that's his character. He's a very reluctant, unsure character. He's got split morals. These are the real angry ones. Okay, so, and here is our dialogue as well. And we're working on scene at the moment. We're getting all this dialogue we've done here, and we're getting it put into a scene. So it's going to be fun, guys. We've got a lot to do. It's a big scene, and it's going to end with a battle with those fruits. So, we're at the point now that Apple's been introduced, and we'll save his new sprite. Now it's been updated. So I think everything's in the right position. Looks very cool. And Lona Wolf as well. Hi, welcome. I don't think I said hi. I just responded to what you said, but welcome. Thanks for being here. Looks very cool. Yeah, thank you. I'll make sure to give you guys the command that links to our website if you fancy having a little peek at things, and the bot as well, just above, yeah, my YouTube link, which is, if you're interested in this project, then that's the place to be, because things will get regularly posted on there that are to do with the game. I'm actually allergic to fruits that have red skin. Whatever organic ingredient that causes that colour in fruit causes my gums and throat to get itchy and swell. Oh my goodness, Lona Wolf. So you wouldn't like tomato then, if that's the case. And you know, this stuff is very interesting, because poor tomato, look how angry he looks. There's a reason why he's angry like this. It's because he was never loved as much as the other fruits. He felt left out, and maybe that doesn't help. People don't want to eat him because they're allergic to him. Now he's an angry boy. But yes, I'd keep away from him too, because he doesn't look like a nice fruit. But do you like any of the other fruits, Lona? Blueberry looks tasty. He does. Okay, folks. So did we save that? I keep forgetting if I did save that PNG of our sprite. I don't know if we did. Let's do it again anyway. Okay, so now that we've done that, we need to we'll put him back that way. There we go. We need to update the fruit basket to his new face, because we have a scene, guys, that we're working on now where all these fruits here are in this fruit basket and they come out one at a time. So we're doing the frame by frame animations for each of them jumping out when it's their turn to speak. And we're on Apple now. He's the last fruit to jump out, and we've just changed his face, so we need to do it again. So we've got the PSD file here. So here he is. So I think that one's fine of him. Oops. There we go. So that one's fine of him, but when he turns around, he definitely can't be smiling. He's going to have that his new face. And I'm also thinking of making him turn down. Hang on, let's look at the scene, because I want to make sure it works with the scene, the direction he's going to be facing. So this is our scene, guys. This is where the basket's under the tree here. Plums there. I honestly would like him to face down and jump out this way, because he'll show off his uncertain face then, but it wouldn't make sense if he did that because the fruits are higher up. So if he was looking down, he wouldn't actually be facing the group. So maybe make him jump out this way and then just walk down here and reveal his face from the front when he gets to this point. Maybe we could do it that way. I'm going to do a test play to make sure, to see what direction and position each of the fruits are standing in, and see where Apple will nicely slot in and where he can be positioned in this stream. Tomatoes are still tasty though, yes. They are pretty good sometimes, although they can be a bit bitter to my mouth sometimes. But hopefully there's other yummy foods you can eat, Wolf. Sorry to raid and run, but I have to get dinner started. No worries at all, Pogo. Totally understandable. I get hungry and need my food after stream as well. So you go have your foods. But thank you so much. I appreciate you bringing your community over here. National, hi Rose, for the question of the week. It's the last minute to present to you good ones. Yes, last stream of the week, Friday, and last chance to answer the question of the week, folks. So I like the small cutscene in Mass Effect when the tough Krogan rolls up, and the cutscene where the barrel rolls out the wagon in Raindrop Chronicles. Have you revealed some of yours? My goodness, National, I'm honoured that you the cutscene where the barrel rolls out the wagon in Raindrop Chronicles. That is hilarious. I love that you've put our game in there. Awesome. And you know what? Now you've mentioned that cutscene, I can't wait to actually get it finished and put up in the Discord cutscene discussion scene for you guys. It's difficult because there's also this cutscene I'm working on now, so I kind of have to multitask, but it'll be there for sure at some point, because I want you guys to see it and be able to watch it and at least give a bit of feedback before we 100% confirm that that's done and dusted. So I am excited. I was very proud of that cutscene. But that was a good one, Mass Effect as well. I just want to say I adore Mass Effect and I love Krogans. Once I actually spent a lot of time Googling the phrase baby Krogan, and I got a little bit excited when I saw the baby Krogans. Adorable. Baby Krogans are adorable. I just wanted to see fan art of that, because I thought, you know what would be really cute? A baby Krogan. You know, that would be the most adorable thing, and I was right. I put in baby Krogan, and there was loads of Mass Effect baby Krogan fan arts appearing all over the place. Thank you for the follow, Pogo, as well. I appreciate that. And Damp, thank you very much. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. And have I revealed some of mine? That's a tough one. I'd say a cutscene. It's very difficult because there's so many games I love. Lost Odyssey had a couple that were really good. I won't say because spoilers, but Lost Odyssey is basically one of my favourite JRPGs. Mass Effect as well had numerous ones, and I can't even pinpoint my actual favourite because there's just so many. The first Red Dead Redemption, the ending of that game, or very close to the end, should I say, had a very memorable cutscene for me that gobsmacked me. And the Witcher 3 cutscene when Geralt finds Ciri for the first time, that one as well. So quite a few, and there's a load of Final Fantasy cutscenes as well, guys, from loads of different Final Fantasy games. So the Temple of the Ancients cutscene with Kate Sith in particular is a very memorable cutscene for me in Final Fantasy VII. But that's like one of absolutely many cutscenes. The Krogans suck. Oh my good, Chubb. You gotta love Krogans. Oh my goodness. I thought Chubb would have loved Krogans. I've been absolutely shocked there, Chubb. I would have thought that you would have loved the Krogans. They seem just like your cup of tea. I like the cutscene when Wheatley goes insane in Portal 2. Portal 2 and Portal 1 are great, amazing games. Both of them. The beginning of Mass Effect 2, when you killed and fall to the surface of a planet, was one of the greatest video game moments in my life. Mass Effect 2. Yes, amazing game. Just so good. I mean, I love the trilogy as a whole, but I feel like Mass Effect 2 in particular was so really good in those 3 games. I really liked the cast and the romance possibilities in that one in particular. Thane for life. Thane is my Shepard, Femme Shep's romance for sure. A lot of people like romancing Garrus, but Garrus for my Femme Shep was her best friend. I feel like they were best buddies more than romantic, so I chose Thane. Both are aliens, by the way, because obviously the aliens are the best romance options. Maybe you disagree, though. And also the romance moment with the Bastilla in Knights of the Old Republic 1. Oh, I'm curious what that one is now, because I'm not playing Knights of the Old Republic, so I'm curious what happened in that romance scene. Oh, that Ciri scene when he thinks, yeah, I mean, the scene itself, like, it's so obvious that she's not going to be dead. Like, I feel us as the player knows that. But it's just the way it was directed and the emotion from Geralt, like, what the hell? That was like, you don't even see that in movies, in my opinion, the way that cutscene was. The music as well in the background in that scene was insane too. All the lead up to that quest was incredible. It was inspired by Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, because there was actually 7 dwarfs in that area of the game and you had to find them all. It was pretty good. My favourite Mass Effect character was Mordin Solos, yes. I'm not going to say anything because spoilers if anyone here is lurking and hasn't played Mass Effect yet and intends to, so I'm not going to go too into the details, but there's a particular scene with Mordin that really got to me, I think. Yeah, I think that was the 3rd Mass Effect, wasn't it? How much kind of lore backstory do you want for these characters? I feel like I could really abuse that. Anything else you would like to tell us about yourself? Optional text box. Okay, well, there's no limit, like, because I say to you guys, I always say, if you want to really get into depth with your character, I am totally for you doing that. Some people are more shorter and sweet with their character forms, which is fine too, but if you want to go into detail, feel free to. But what I would recommend is to don't like write a novel in the actual character form. Maybe do a Google document and pop it in the Discord, maybe the ideas discussion channel Discord. With a link to your Google Doc where you expand. That's what Chubb Cheeks and Akira did with their characters, because I make a character sheet. I don't know if you've seen them, Legmog. There's a character sort of sheet for each character, and we don't want to have one that's like super long like that. So for that reason, I say, you know, have a lengthy paragraph if you wish, like several lines. But then if you want to really go into depth and write absolutely paragraphs, then a Google Doc is probably ideal. So yeah, you just post that on the Discord when you've done your character sheet at any time. You don't even have to do it on the same day. You can do it weeks later if you want, if you think of something for your character. Totally up to you, Legmog. It's really good if you ever get the chance. That was basically the game that was the precursor to Mass Effect series for BioWare. Yeah, I just wish there was more games like Mass Effect, because I don't think they feel so few and far between, those games that have such good lore and let you interact and have relationships with the characters and have a moral system and all that. It's pretty cool. And Mass Effect in itself was pretty linear, so it wasn't the most open world thing in the world, but I really did like how lore rich it was, and how you really felt like you had meaningful interactions with your crew. That was really cool, because in a lot of RPGs it feels a bit shallow and like you can't really make a difference, or you've not got much control over that. But you kind of really do in Mass Effect. And The Witcher 3 as well went even more further with that, I feel. But really, Mass Effect and Witcher, they're like, there might be other games out there like Dragon Age, that might be one, but because I haven't played it, I can't really say. But they're like the only, feel like a few of the only games out there that really let you do that. Final Fantasy don't. I wish they kind of did, especially the newer ones, but they're kind of just corridor simulators, and I kind of wish there was a bit more open. I mean, you expect that more from the older ones, but it'd be nice if the newer ones went a bit more open, I think. Was it There Had to Be Me? Someone else might get it wrong, scene. Gotta go get food out of the oven. Oh, yummy. I hope the food is super nice. It might have been that one, Chub. I can't remember the actual dialogue, but it sounds like that probably was the one. But if I say it was emotional, I think you'll know which one I mean. Yeah, got you. Thanks. Yay. Okay, so. Oh yeah, we were doing Apple. I remember now. I was talking for the last 20 minutes and then I'm like, what were we doing again? Okay, folks. Wow, I've just seen it's not even 5 PM yet. Awesome. I'm liking these longer streams. We're getting more time in. Okay, so we're going to just change things up a little bit. Instead of Apple coming out that way, he's actually going to jump from the top. But first we're going to do a test play, because I want to see, of course, first if it makes sense for him to jump that way, because there might be an object in the way for all we know, and then he won't be able to do it like that. So it's always good to plan first. I was thinking of having a Carol and Tomato little chase part, but we'll see. Before Lemon gets there. Maybe yeah, and what they said should be in the same dialogue box actually. Yes, okay. Apple definitely should jump from the top and then walk around and then be in the middle of the group. And I think blueberry should go up to lemon, because that will really show their closeness off a little bit more. So, but first we'll deal with that, getting apple out the basket. Probably go get a snack in a bit, folks. Get myself an almond milk or something. I'm getting a bit of a peckish one. Okay, so we're gonna delete these because we're not gonna be having those ones. Okay. We only need the one graphic now. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Yeah, I'm not actually sure if it's going to work with him walking from the top now, because there's just so little room to show that jump. So we don't have much space to work with. So, yeah, plum's in the way, so it makes things difficult. But if blueberry moves towards lemon, then apple can go where blueberry is. So I think that could work fine. And I think he could totally like jump diagonally, so having this sort of thing going on where he goes to the edge like that to jump could work. So merge visible. If he basically stands where blueberry is currently standing, then he'd just be doing a diagonal jump. There we go, and then it's just our empty basket, which is right here, and we can put that one in the 3 frames underneath. And this is the final asset. We've chopped off some of apple. I just noticed that. How dare I? Oh. We didn't actually chop some of them off, we just accidentally shifted it to the right. There we go. Weird things happen in Photoshop when you don't realise. I'm pretty sure we've got no visual glitches now. So we didn't actually have to put Apple's new face in the basket animation because he's facing upwards. Right, so that's done. Let's hide that. Now, blueberry, I believe, is standing there. One, two, three. Okay, so blueberries event 15, so I'm actually gonna, I don't think it looked right with having 2 separate dialogue boxes. there for blueberries, so I'm actually going to merge them into one. Move upper right. Right. There we go. So I think that should have moved. I'm not sure if Blueberry's in the correct position there, but I think that's moved him by closer to lemon at least. So we're going to have event 17 for apple. So we have to move its location to where Blueberry was standing. Yeah, this bit gets a little bit complicated because this is where we had to do the animating, and it's not the way I've done it isn't really the way you do it in RPG Maker, but this is the way I find is the most effective way to do a more complicated animation in this program. So here we are. We're currently on that one, so that's turn right, row 3 I think is turn right. Oh, it hasn't updated it yet. Switch screen and it should update to the graphic. Yeah, so turn right is what we need to do. And that turn right is basically the graphic that it changes to, that we've set it up as. It's not really turning right, but that's the one it's on. Wait, 10 frames? No, I think it needs to be on the 18. And then it's the empty basket, which is turn up, I think. And now we just need to move Apple's actual event, and also make sure he's changed to Apple because he's currently on Plum. And turn up is the one we want it on. So move upper right. Move down. Now I don't know if that movement route is what we can actually have for Apple. It might look a bit messy because I haven't thought it out, the actual positioning yet. But I just kind of want to get him on the screen and away from the basket for now, and we'll do our test play to see. So save, and we'll look. This has potential to be a mess, so I will say if it works. Hi Lord, how you doing? I'm going to reply to your message over the weekend at some point, by the way, just so you know, Lord. Get a little bit more time then, because I've got 2 days now after today's stream. How's it going, Lord? Okay, test play time. I need to think how to sort out Carol's hot, make it larger. I mean, it would be wonderful if there was a plugin that sorted out like getting outside the tile sets, but I don't know. I'm looking at a couple of things on this map actually, and there's a couple of graphical things that are bugging me, just small little things. But at some point, maybe when, to be honest, we've finished this scene and post-boss scene as well, once all that's out the way and I've done the next story so far video, I'm probably going to have a couple of streams where I'm working on mapping again, just for the Everbloom Forest and Lakefall area, because I do want to parallax map Lakefall as well. I think we can make it look even prettier. But I don't want to do that now because we've got stuff to do. You're an awesome person. I have a lot of respect for your project. Oh, thank you, Lord. That's very kind. I'm glad you like the project and have respect for it. That's freaking awesome to hear. Yeah, I think I can make the jumping animation smoother. Every time I look at it, I'm like, But we'll see. We'll see if it's even possible. Okay, so we moved Blueberry towards Lemon. Now he is going towards Lemon. Oops, he's on top of him. Probably not. We don't want him on top of him. Okay, now this is where the bit we've worked on. It doesn't look... Did we put the weight animation before Apple's movement like a silly? Because something is not happening. Oh yeah, we did. We put the weight animation there. Oh my god, Apple looks so good. Sorry, I'm in love with his new mouth. And I know you guys probably can't see it that well, those of you who are just noticing this, because we are squishing the game into a small space here on this test play, so you can't see it like I can on my monitor. But my goodness, I love his mouth. Okay, so we got to fix a couple of little problems then. Your commitment to your community is commendable. Yay! Well, that's lovely. It's nice to hear nice words. I appreciate that. I super appreciate that, Lord. Okay, so Blueberry, like a big silly Billy, walked on over Lemon. So, I'll just get rid of one of those move rights and that'll solve that problem. And we'll also... Yeah, we'll see how that looks. So, okay. Yeah, that needs to be moved. We had weight 999 frames there. That's so that was bad. Silly me. And then we're gonna add Apple's dialogue in at this point. Apple's event 17. So. He's going to say, come on, you know. Come on, you know isn't such a good idea. Wow, typo. Come on, you know this isn't such a good idea. Okay. And this is our first draft of Apple's opening first dialogue ever. I don't know if I kind of want to push it further and have it be even better, but I will say. For now it works. There we go. We gotta have Worried Face Rose as well. Where's Rose's? Yeah, this is Rose's dialogue box. So here, after Plum has spoken and says she's here, they brought her to us. Rose. will have a worried face. And to be honest, I don't know if we'll make her speak and have some ... or I find with Rose, it's because she's a mute, it's probably more effective to give her sprite a expression, and it's a little bit more subtle. So that's probably what I'll do eventually, but we'll just stick that there for now. And I think we do have Rose's, we do have a set of expressions for us, so I could always just stick one of those on, but let's actually have a look. We'll have a look at what we've got. So just get rid of this so you guys can see the event editor. So Rose's event 9. Change image, so here you can actually see now the pop-ups here. So main character Rose, or is she? No, she's playable character. So there's this one, it's kind of a sad face. I don't know if that's the one we'll have for the final. I might add another expression on her face in Photoshop, but for now I think that one could work. So we just change the graphic to the sad face Rose, and we'll get rid of the pop-up box there. Because we don't need it unnecessarily Rose ... dialogue boxes popping up all the time. We can do it with sprite expressions, and sometimes we will, like because it'll fit more, or if she's facing the way you can't see a face, we might want to have a ... with a facial expression then, or if she hisses or anything like that, we'll make some animal feral sounds. Okay, so come on, you know this isn't such a good idea, so what's next after that? So at the moment the hero calls him Green One, but I'm unsure. Part of me thinking we should just call him Apple, because that's what we do later on. Join us, Apple, leave them behind, you're better than this. You promise you'd keep the 9 man disappointed in you, Apple. So that is like a dialogue to Apple just before the battle. And I feel like we need to be consistent, so okay, so we get a choice at that point, but first I think we should just do a test play, make sure everything's looking good before we jump into inserting the choices into the scene. But everything's going to kick off now. We're way past the introduction at this point now, but there's definitely a lot of things we need to tidy up, which is why we have a note area here. We can tick some of those things off our list though now. Okay, so potentially Blueberry could go the other way. So like they're trapping Carol almost. I still think we need more reaction from the hero, or some, not so he's just rooted to the spot. Rose, I could imagine, could just be standing there, but maybe with some more facial expressions. I'll have to think about it. Okay, just for fun, I think I'm going to start the dev for the game I wanted to make for some time now. It's a very small game, but it's intended to be played on multiple platforms, I guess. 2 to 3 inputs tops. Oh, cool. So it's a super small one. How long do you think it'll take you to make that one then, Yasmin? And what platforms is it going to be on? That sounds fun. I say go for it for sure. Because something is weird about Blueberry being there. I'm thinking either he should be like on the same tile set as Lemon, like get behind Lemon, or he goes the other way of Carol. And honestly, I kind of like that idea about him being on the same tile set as Lemon where they're together, because that is like a parallel to Oliver and Hanky as well, because we did that with Oliver and Hank. We put them on the same tile set. Hank grabbed him to protect him. So I'm gonna have a little look at that and see what, if it looks super cute. It'll make Blueberry and Lemon look super cute, hopefully, if they both fit on there. And Hank and Ollie did, so I don't see why these wouldn't. Okay, so Apple. I love Apple now so much, even more with his face. So silly face, but I love it. Okay, so oh, Rose's expression did change and I didn't even notice. There's a lot of tidying up here to do, guys. Like, we've got them all out the basket now and they're here, and we've got talking happening and stuff, but there's just a lot of tidying up and a lot of additions to potentially add just to make it even better. Scene work is definitely the time cogger, but it's fun. So 2 to 3 weeks. Oh, is that what you meant when you said 2 to 3 inputs? I wondered what you meant by inputs. Now I understand. Computer, tablet, phone, I would say. Multi-platform development is hard. It's just one of those time killers, but it can get quite hard the further you get into the game. Yasmin seems like, from what I've learned about Yasmin seems someone who's very capable, so I'm confident you'll get something done and get them on all the platforms. So yeah, feel free to post about it in our creative work channel as well, and any of the links to it when it comes out, for sure. Sounds exciting. I've always liked the idea of doing a really, really small game like that, like something super quick that'll take a month to make. But I'm so slow at doing stuff, and I also don't want anything to take me away from this project development either right now, because I like focusing on this and putting things into this, and if I did work on another project it would steal the time away from this. But in the future, maybe the very far future, when Raindrop Chronicles is over. You love the new face of Apple. I do too. I mean, you guys, it's hard to see on this screen when it's all squished, the test play section, to see the face of such a small fruit. But if you want to see him big, guys, you want to see him even more, look at his face. It was just perfect, because it's just like unusual. You don't see characters with expressions like that very often. Maybe there are other pixel art characters with that face, and I'd love to meet them because I like it. It's goofy and it's unique, and it's basically a sad face with the corner pixel not there, basically. And I think that was perfect for Apple, because he's not actually sad, so he didn't need the other pixel there. He's uncertain, and that is I feel like that's a really good uncertain face, because you kind of go like that, don't you, when you're uncertain? And he's there doing it as well, which is great. On his actual battle asset, he's doing that same face. So it just sums up his personality just better than the psychopathic smile, which just doesn't suit a character who's uncertain and actually not happy to be in this situation. That's my issue right now. I really want to do Land Up Dare, but I need to finish my Jersey Devil game. That is definitely the pitfalls of being a creative. I always find, I don't know about you guys, but it seems so, that you have all these ideas and you're like, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that, but you can't spread yourself that thin because it's just too much. So you have to just pick one or two things to focus on and do it. But I think, it doesn't mean you have to give up on your other ideas. Just bookmark them and go back to them whenever there's a time in your life, that when you're freed up and can start it. That's what I do. I've had other ideas, but I'm like, there's just no way I can do them right now. It's just too much work, especially if the one in particular would involve me having to learn Game Maker Studio, and I'm not going to be doing that when I've got this project to work on. It means too much and it's too important. So that'd be something for the far future, a potential project after Raindrop Chronicles. But this isn't a short project, so gonna start by doing sprites now that I got the basic movement system in Go.Learned. Awesome. I'm excited for you, Yasmin. I know some game devs that will do LD, for example, Crass, and Steph, hopefully be able to watch them all. Awesome. But yes, it's always interesting to me, people that can get out a game quickly, and a good one as well. I must feel you have to be a pro to do that, because, making a good game in a short space of time isn't easy. Right, so I forgot what we said we was going to do next. It wasn't the next part of the scene. Oh, I was going to test something with lemon and blueberry, wasn't I? Let's get blueberry and lemon up for a sec. This is something I want to see, that I'm curious about. My goodness, I'm having a tummy rumble, guys, so probably will have to get myself a snack. Massive tummy rumbles. I literally had my sandwiches the second before I started stream, so I don't know why I'm hungry, but I suppose I have been streaming for a few hours now, so it makes sense. I watched a YouTube video a few weeks ago where Dev did 50 games in 50 hours. Holy crap. Holy crap. How long were each of those games? Were they just super short ones? That is, that's impressive. Even if they were short, just coming up with the ideas, The 50 different game ideas is a task in itself. Okay, guys, I'm going to have a quick BRB, and it'll be a quick one, just a couple of minutes, guys, while I get myself a snack. And feel free to talk amongst yourself, folks, while I'm gone. Hello, I am back. Oh, it made chat disappear. I wonder if there's a setting, something that I can keep the chat even if I go off the scene. How dare it make chat disappear? That's it, I'm going to spam chat now to make up for this. Spam it with Mad Carol. Okay. So I was going to test if we can overlap lemon and blueberry on the same tile set. Well, it's not a tile set, is it? It's a character sprite thingy-majig. Actually, I don't have the grid set up for this. Like I do. I think it's set up for tile sets, that's why. Or just bigger tiles. I think we must have made them small. Yeah, we did. Because we've got the is that the dollar sign? We've got a sign in front on the title, which means you've resized it, so that's probably why. I think, let me just see on now. I think I'll know when I look at the image size. 96 by 112. So it's 32 by 48, is it? No, it's not. 32 by 30. Yeah, I think it's 32 by 28 actually. I'm not setting the new grid up for this because I don't want to lose it for the tile sets. I'm like being lazy. Just got back from dropping my car off at the repair shop to fix recalls and chance the oil. My goodness, this is why I'm glad I don't have a car. Is your car being a pain in the butt, man? Every time I hear about cars, they're always getting on people's nerves. Or either broke or need repairing or cost a ton of money. Hope it gets fixed soon, Van. Hope it's not going to be too much trouble. Okay, so now I know the sizes, I can bring lemon back. I think I'll push him to the edge as much as I can, but I've got to be careful because his cheek, we don't want his cheek to... Now actually lemon should be the one that stays where he is and blueberry should be the one that's in a... Because This one's a challenge because it's such a small area because I've made it small. I could easily just make it big for this particular one. Make it bigger. I don't think that'll hurt. Because I think it'd be cool if it was more like that, where you could see Blueberry's face. And that crazy smile behind him. Something like that. How big would that be? $36 by 33. Because you can make them bigger, these character sheet things, but it might look a mess, but we'll see. It's worth testing because I think it could be cute to have Blueberry just slip in behind Lemon. You know, rather than have them be so far away. Considering they love each other so much. I submitted my character. Which part of Discord did you say I should post the bio in? Right, let me show you, leg mug. Are we in the Discord? Right, let's get it up. To hide Photoshop though. Okay, so we got Raindrop Chronicles section here. So probably looking at them, general ideas discussion is probably the most general channel to pop it in. Because we don't have a channel specifically for characters. I know we've got characters places here, but this is just an information channel where everything gets pinned and links to everything. So you'll probably be able to type in here. Yeah. So this is the place. Just you know, so here's my Google Doc, guys, and yay, Poppy Papercut bio. I love it. I love it. It's a very nice name. I love it because it's 2 P's. It's an alliteration, a bit like my name, Rosa Rainblood. Poppy Papercut could literally be my long lost sister because she's a poppy. She's a flower like me. Oh my goodness, she's become Rose obsessed. That's amazing. No, pretended to be Rose, trying her best to emulate her clothing style and mannerisms. For the first time ever, she felt strong, empowered and tenacious. Who knew people are so scared and willing to hand over food money if you believe you're Rose the vampire. To Poppy, causing so much mischief in Rose's name is big fun, hilarious game, though it's certainly having a detrimental effect to Rose's reputation. That is awesome. I really like how you've tied it all in with current characters. It makes it's easier to bring a character into the story if you've tied it in with an already existing character and lore. I mean, people are totally allowed to make their own separate character and create their own lore for them, because I allow you that freedom if you've got those 500 raindrops, but sometimes it might take a while for a character to be appropriate for them to fit in if they've got a specific lore. But for example, there'll be a fun opportunity to get it put in, hopefully, because I'm excited. It sounds awesome. Very clever, Legmog. Tried to make a plane to Rose's lore a bit. I watched the plot video and saw that Rose is in this cage place, so figured, so people are kind of suspicious of Rose and tried to work in that. Yeah, basically. Really to sum Rose up, and I think you've got a good understanding anyway, Legmog, but I like to say it anyway so everyone hanging out knows. Basically, Rose is that she's an animalistic, feral, sweet, vampire girl who, gets very misunderstood because she has a heart of gold. Like, really, she wouldn't really hurt anyone that didn't deserve it. She's fierce, of course, because she has to survive. She's out there on her own, alone. Sometimes she's got to kill people, but it's usually bad people. She'll kill when she has to, but she won't do it. She won't do anything cruel or unnecessary. But people don't realise this. They just see a vampire that's like an animal and they get scared, and they don't trust her. They think she needs to be put down and destroyed and dealt with and all these horrible things, and that's why she was put in a cage. So yeah, for sure. In Rose's name, but Rose has no idea who Poppy is, and her reputation is getting fairly sullied. Yeah, it'll be really interesting, like, to have that reveal as well. Like, yeah, this is Poppy come in, and I'm excited to find in a good spot for her to come in, Mark. So awesome character there. I'll look forward to making the character sheet and getting her up walking here with the rest of us, because we've got a lot to do. The Trello page is here, exclamation mark Trello, and I list all the characters on there in order, the character sheets that we're going to do. So I'm hoping to get some of them like ticked off and done soon, because it'll be really useful job done. So however you want to go with me is cool with me. Whether he stays as an antagonist or you want it to have redemption arc and become an ally, who knows exactly? Who knows is the phrase here, because we don't know. I don't even know what lies ahead for Rose or Carol the Barrel and all our beloved characters that have been in it for a while, because we don't yet. Like, we're keeping their character arcs very open-ended. And writing it all as we go along, and ultimately the main reason I like doing that is because who knows what ideas people are going to have for these guys, and if we already have like this planned character arc for people like Rose and Carol, then we're limiting people potentially suggesting some really exciting stuff, and like, we'll always do it by polls. Like, even if somebody's like, wow, like, I have this cool idea, I'm unlikely to like just go, yeah, let's do that. I'll probably very likely put polls most of the time for decisions, especially very major decisions and ones that are going to impact the story greatly. But sometimes, like, for example, today with Chub Cheeks, I asked him about a direction to take his character, and about whether it was going to be him or one of his minions, and that was a discussion, like something I wanted to leave up to Chubb, because it was directly to do with his character. So sometimes if it is an individual character and that person's actually in chat at the time, and I'll just ask them, so what do you think would be best because of your character, rather than put up a poll. But you know, if it's more general, it'll likely be a poll. But not always either. I won't always be asking the person whose character it is what we're going to do with them, because some things will be left up to me and the community as well. So it all depends. It depends what fits the most. To get your imagination flowing anyhow. She's brilliant. I'm looking forward to actually reading the whole sheet. I just saw Rose, I skim read it and I saw the Rose obsessed, and I was like, oh, wow, that's so cool. Because it makes sense as well, you know. It gives a reason for why. Like the fact that sullying the name thing, it just adds another layer to Rose's character arc as well, and a reason for why things are the way they are and why Rose is perceived the way she is. There's an actual reason for it. I like it a lot. Awesome leg mog. Okay, so back to our lovely, adorable thingy-majig. So I am going to make this bigger so we can fit them on. What size is it? 36 by 33. So it's going to be a little bit bigger than their original spreadsheet. And this is a test because it might honestly not work. I've not really experimented much with changing sizes of things, but hang on, what's the size of an original character sprite thing? Let's have a look at Carol's, because I might just resize it to that. I don't even know why I made it so small in the first place, thinking about it. Yeah, 48 by 48 is actually the size it is. And I'm wondering now, why did I make it so small? There must have been a reason for it, because I'd have just kept it as the 48 by 48 otherwise. So yeah, I'm wondering myself. I'm sure I'll find out though. So the size of that would be 144 by 192. There we go. So this is the normal size, and yeah, it's all matching. We've got the grid as it should be. I know, yeah, there's definitely room for him to be on the same tile here, that's for sure. But we don't need all the others. We only need, for now, the top row where they're facing the front. So we'll do them one at a time. We'll do lemon first. And we're doing this, we're getting them on the same sprite, because lemon and blueberry are very close and have like a grandfather and grandson kind of relationship, and because they're so small, and you're restricted to, you know, your 48 by 48 tile set, it looks like they're super far away even when they're next to each other, and that we want to just make them look close, I guess. I think it'd be cute and adorable, even though they're evil. Take wherever you want. Yeah, definitely, for sure, guys. Like, if you're making a character, and this goes for anybody, once you filled in that character form, you have to be prepared for the consequences. You have to be prepared. It might not always be a happy ending. Sometimes it might be. We don't know. Who knows? So we can't send to lemon. He's like 1 pixel off being in the middle. There we go. Yeah, I think we'll because lemon will probably like move a bit when we change the graphic, because obviously we're shifting his positioning, but maybe it'll look fine. It'll look like lemon's just making space for blueberry to get behind him, so it might not look too jarring when we change the graphic. We'll see. That could work. Main thing is that he shows his face. I don't want Blueberry's face to be hidden. I think that kind of makes it visible enough. Thank you, Dio, for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having an awesome Friday, guys. Has anyone got any exciting plans for the weekend? Okay, so there we go. I think that'll work. So we're gonna have to save this as a new character sprite graphic now. So we don't need the $sign in front of this one. Blueberry and lemon. Okay, folks, so we're going to test this one now and hopefully it looks super cute. Also, I'm going to copy and paste what Legmog said as well into my notepad file because it might, like, you know, get some ideas flowing. I don't want to forget any of it. Right, so this should be simple enough. So where is the moment that Blueberry walks up to Lemon? I think that's it, isn't it? So all we need to do here, right at this moment here in the movement route after he's moved right twice, we just need to change the image to, guys, look at all these custom heroes. This is what I mean about the amount of hours very time consuming to do all those, guys, but totally worth it. I think it adds a lot that you can have a custom hero in this game. Customization is always nice. We have a lot of character sprites that we aren't using that I haven't deleted. Eventually I'm going to like clear stuff up so we don't have stuff that we don't need. So there's a lot of default stuff still here. So yeah, Everbloom Forest. Here we go. Oh, what's happened here? Why is it long? 1, 2. Oh, I know what I've done wrong. What a goof. What a doofus I am. How did I not remember this? So what we are going to do is just use Carol the Barrel's graphic thing as a template. And we'll save it over our other one because we need it to be this size all the time. So you can't save it as a tiny little thing. We could save these ones as tiny little sprite sheets because we put a $sign in front, which kind of tells the program that you can have it be any size. But we haven't done this with that one, which to be honest we could do. Thinking about it, we could just stick a $sign in front. It'll keep them all together that way. Right. And then I think it'll let us select it, I hope. Yeah, it's fine, I think. So we've got to just make sure we're on face down though. Otherwise it won't show up. So turn down. We'll see how that looks. I'm not sure if it'll look a bit odd, the animation right now, but I'm curious just to see. But obviously I think we might have to delete Lemon's, and we'll have to get rid of Lemon's graphic because Lemon will be there twice otherwise. But I want to test this first just to see. Okay, so the graphics appeared, but yeah, as I said, Lemon will be there twice, and he is, and the position of it needs to be moved across one as well. So there's a few little bits to just perfect with that to get it right, but it works, and we can do that. It's cute that they're together. So every time I see Apple's face, I laugh when he turns around like that. I just think it's added so much to him. Okay, so have a look at our list of things to do. So we got do apple jumping out basket, which we've kind of done now. But we need to fix lemon and blueberries, obviously, so we'll replace that also. Fix positioning of lemon and blueberries sprite. As for the others, we can't get rid of them yet because we still got to do it. So right, let me think, because we like still very much, we've still got a lot to do with this scene. We've only just begun it, in all honesty. We're past the introduction, you know, but we've still got a lot to do. As you can see with this list here, there's things to still finish before we even progress and add the rest of it. But I do have 2 days off now. Next stream is Monday. And there is, as you know, a lot of things I want to do, like character sheets, merch, FAQ page of the website. What else is there? There's other things too that I've mentioned, a bazillion things. Let me think. The scene, the Carol flashback scene, finishing that and posting it in the cutscene channel. So there's all these separate things that aren't related to this particular bit either to work on. But I will be doing this scene work for this scene over the weekend because it's a big job. I'm going to at least get these ticked off the list, like, you know, get those like nitty gritty extra important bits done. And as for continue building the scene, I'd really like to, let's have a look. Let's just have a little browse of our Draw.io page and see what we've got ahead. So yeah, we've got the this is where we start branching off now at this point, when Apple's said what he said. And although I didn't like Apple's dialogue at first, I thought it was like a bit boring. I think because when it accompanies that face that we've given him, it works really well. The uncertainty face with that, it's almost funny. And I want to replace this happy face with that one soon. In Draw.io as well. So let me just think of how hard these bits are going to be. Implementing the choices and the branching paths isn't going to be difficult. We've already done it plenty of times before. This dialogue isn't going to be tricky. We branch off even more here, and I did want to extend it and add a bit more backstory into some of them. So I'm going to do dialogue over the weekend too. And we got, yeah, I was in the middle of finishing that too. And I wasn't really focusing on that much because I wanted to get the start of the scene done first, but it's important I get that done because we will be getting there next week. Okay, so just having a look through all this, I honestly think we've done the hard stuff first. The basket jumping animation where the fruits all jump out, as well as Rose doing the painting, which we haven't done yet, but it's on the list of things to do. That stuff is the most time-consuming bit, in all honesty. And here it's mainly just copy and paste jobs of the dialogue we've got, and maybe just a few character expressions and movements across the screen, and like a bit of action and changing of animations, but nothing too advanced, I don't think. So yeah, next week we will be carrying on with the second half of the scene, but yeah, I kind of want to make it a goal for next week to get the scene done, because I think we totally could, for sure. But yeah, I'm definitely going to work on getting those things to do done. I think we're doing good though, guys. I'm kind of happy with the way the direction the scene's going, although it's not quite perfect yet and there's a few little messy bits to do. I think once they're done, I think that'll be something now I'm pleased with. But what's the time? Yeah, I'm gonna probably be closing things up now, guys, because stream is coming to an end. Thanks for the stream, thank you, appreciate that. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Thanks for being here today, and I'll be back on Monday, so I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to just head off now. No raid today, so I'll see you all on Monday. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.